So, welcome to my channel. If you're new, my name is Karen and I'm the owner of WAHOO Creations, a dreamy 3D artist with a home and accessories line. But unfortunately, that's not my full-time role, but you can help if you want to subscribe. So I'm in this very transitionary period of my life right now. 6 months ago, I dove into the world of freelancing, specifically for the experiential marketing agency side. And I was coming from a very corporate architectural stringent environment. I was excited to expand my creative skills, but the real question is my portfolio didn't really reflect that. I somehow got my dream gig and it took a bit of an overhaul, but I really do think that my extra pieces that I added into my portfolio helped. It's an annoying process, but that's why I wanted to make this video. Creating case studies that kind of fit your next creative field are ways to stick out to that recruiter that aren't just your cover letter, your resume. Honestly, your portfolio is your greatest asset if you're a designer. But of course, we also want to maximize our efforts, and here are some noodlings I had about this. Besides making a case study for your portfolio, definitely find contests you can enter. For example, there's so many on the internet for product designers, graphic designers, poster competitions, or if you're an architect student that wants to get into their dream firm. Find that famous publication in your field. They should have some running competitions via their website or social media. If you write a cold email and you send that out to a couple of those maybe mid-sized small publications, I'm sure people will be in the know, and one person will say yes and share that information. Definitely utilize your For You page. Social media is all the craze, and for a reason. For a period of time, I only worked with smaller creators. I wanted to build this rapport, kind of starting from the ground up, this close, like, informal relationship, and then I could be hooked on to more projects that they had in the future. Unfortunately, the downside I realized is they don't really have the bandwidth. Their projects are slower and sometimes the budget is tighter. And although I had more of a human connection, it wasn't as profitable or had the amount of hours to fill my needs as I thought. This led me to the idea and my ongoing journey of reaching out to big brands, and I've seen it work so well. I'm actually pretty proud of a couple pitches that I've done on my own on my Instagram. I'm by no means a film editor, but I have a couple of pretty good scripts and I'm proud of that. So feel free to follow me on WAHOO Creations on Instagram. If you're bold enough, I also know people that were successful on LinkedIn. I met a couple of creatives that have gotten recruiters and their marketing team to take a look at their work there. I think I have a little too much shyness still with mutuals. I think I'm still trying to shed my old industry and not do it in an offensive way or in case I decide to go back to corporate. So I don't know if I'm ready to burn that bridge, but if you are, it's pretty effective from what I've seen. If you have good work, posting on LinkedIn is a whole other social media game. You're not paid to do this, so I definitely have the phrase pressure makes diamonds. Definitely allot yourself just a short period of time, and I kind of consider this a charrette style. So back in the day, in the Paris 1800s, architecture students kind of did their exams in this charrette style, just a very high intensive exam period with a lot of stakes and intense working. Design charrettes can also be done as a team, so feel free to gather a couple of peers who are in the same boat and just gather together to have these insights and have this intense charrette period of maybe an hour, and then maybe share your findings. I think it's a good exercise, but a lot of coffee is needed. All right, now it's time to do your market research. And here's a checklist I made coming up with my own ideas, which I'll share with you later, my actual case study for Baboon to the Moon. As a spatial designer, I wanted to create a pop-up experiential space that would take over some part of New York City because that's where the bag company originated. So the first thing you have to ask yourself is, what is their mission statement? Oh, personally for me, Baboon to the Moon's mission statement is to make the world more colorful. The brand believes in getting lost and staying curious, and that's what the arrow is for in their logo. And I thought that was super interesting because that's literally a wayfinding path. Not to confuse people when you walk in the store, but this kind of like whimsy and surprises and directions is definitely something I took into note of. What is their visual style and how have their campaigns looked like in the past? So for me personally, the campaigns I saw had a lot of really visual imagery. The book bags were in real environments. There was also a lot of capturing in motion, making sure the bags were like visual in the space. You could run, move, walk, run through the airport with friends. There was something very chic about how they captured their imagery that I'm in love with. I think sharing a mood board is my favorite part of the process and always something really cool that you can add in your portfolio, especially if you make it curated enough. People love seeing a good process. So, some checklists you can have for yourself are: what is the gut reaction of what the space could be? Is it wall graphics? Is it furniture on your Pinterest page? Is it something you saw on Instagram that's like a graphic that could be really cool and work for their brand? Is it everything and anything? Think about the textures, the colors, the moods, the feels, the lighting, the what do you want them to see, feel? Try to check all those five senses and put them in a mood board. My favorite resources I use right now are Pinterest, Cosmos, and Behance. If you want to get real deep, and I didn't get into this, but try to see what their competitors have been doing, what's worked for them, what you don't want to copy. If a beverage brand literally did a campaign similar, you don't want to pitch something to do exactly that. In this world of oversaturation, we want to be really careful about who's done what already. And not to say that there's an ideal you really like, but what's the lesson? What kind of draws you to say, oh, this campaign was really cool? Oh, the way they had these drawings for this architectural building, like that story was really cool. What can I do to make mine different? All right, now it's time for production, and for me, this is the 3D modeling portion. It definitely helps if you put your product in the real world, somewhere believable where you've done your research, whether it's a billboard location to justify that, whether it is a building. So for me, I just wanted to retrofit a store I found in New York City. They have pop-ups all the time. This was pretty easy and intuitive. I didn't follow exactly what it was. There were a couple of pipes that would have gotten in the design that I just didn't really care about because this is an RFP, but it would be fleshed out more if I was chosen to win this project. Just to say, it's the logic behind choosing the location and fleshing out those details enough that people want to see and care about. The first thing I did was create a wayfinding chart as well as a user journey experience. That really helped me with my programming and what you want them to see and feel when you get to the space. I then stepped away for some fresh eyes. I think this shred took me a total of 2 to 3 days. I use a Rhino and Blender workflow. Blender is really good at creating obscure textures and objects, like if I want to inflate something, and Rhino is really good for technical measurements. So I am using my architecture school crutch and then carrying it over to render it out. This is the point I went turbo speed in designing. I just went ham, put on a good podcast. This is the focus downtime. Hello, so it's currently 11:47 and I think it's time to quit. I think the hardest part of like being unemployed right now is like you don't have a schedule. I gotta be productive. I always have to constantly keep moving and working my portfolio. The end of day one, I have the basics of my 3D model and a word mood board. As I kept in mind were for them to be sustainable, technical, colorful, and curious. So here's what I have so far. Be some bags hanging over here for a second display and distracting the top. A1, this is what I have for my floor plan. I like the idea of mirroring the L's of the countertop as well as creating 2 different section dividers. And I think what's kicking me is these displays need to be a lot more developed. I have the wayfinding down. Steps tomorrow are gonna be just like mood boarding and materiality and finalizing. So I've done worse on tighter deadlines. I'm happy with the progress I made. I need to stop being such a hard ass on myself. But right now my emotion is my little shmishki in the corner. Day one, I spent maybe 30 minutes to an hour brainstorming strategy for my mood board. And I've spent successfully, oh, this is embarrassing. I don't even want to tell you guys. I've spent 3 hours working on the 3D model and maybe half an hour of lollygaggling because I need to take breaks. I am a perpetual break taker. Something else embarrassing I have to say, I don't know how these YouTubers do it, like have on all this like fancy makeup while they're working. Like when I'm working, I just want to be like a little you little gremlin. Okay, I lied. It's 12:30. I spent a lot of time. This is the most fun part for any architect's rendering journey, is picking out the views, because you've done all the hard work. You're just moving the camera because it's fun. Those are pretty simple. See, we love talking through stuff. And then the storefront, perspective 6. Okay, now I'm sleeping. Woo! Hello, good morning. So it is the next day and I have done 30 minutes of going back to the basics and just drawing, just to make the displays a little more organic. I'm really going for the technical slash colorful aspect of these drawings. Added some New York elements. I really love WAHOO, their lighting brand. I'll add more seating here, and then their iconic forays going somewhere, and then probably at the top of the tower where they'll hang their bags in the photo op, I'll do like baboon to the moon, not B2B. And then my other sketch was this one, just adding a couple more colors, and I found these really amazing wall sconces on Pinterest. Something I'm not used to, being an architecture background, is a lot of pop-up stores. I'm realizing a lot of it has to do with sourcing, so we'll see what products I pull. I'm excited. It is time to eat lunch though. I'm hella hungry, so we're gonna make a DIY Chipotle bowl and listen to the rest of the Lana album by SZA. 30 to 30, BMF, and Scorsese, Baby Daddy. Don't ask about the titles if you don't have any context. Just listen to the album. It's amazing, I promise.
Nice flag. We are from Sweden and we were happy to see you.
Alright, it's 12:30. It's been an hour and a half and I'm done. I quit. Me, brain, no think, no more. Okay, bye-bye. Some more bonus tips I have to make everything a little more worth your time. See what you already have in your portfolio. Is there a type of mock-up that you haven't tried that will make you look more well-rounded? Are you missing that diagram that you've seen, or like a really cool way to display your work you've been wanting to try? Go and do it. It's not about telling the full fleshed out story. It's about picking imagery that'll make you a better candidate. Don't get too hard stuck on the technical. This is what I have to tell myself every day of my freaking life. Sometimes I get too invested in the computer when I could easily just judge something in Photoshop and not spend 30 minutes trying to figure out how to do this one technique that won't even be seen. It's not about the production, it's about the outcome of a portfolio. And if you don't know where you're going, take a walk, take a breather. You will find that idea in the shower, or have one of your creative peers take a pass at it. All right guys, here are the final results of my pop-up store for Baboon to the Moon, and I'd love to walk you through this space. So this is how my portfolio currently looks. I added it into spatial design. This is how the store looks like. I did a floor plan cutting off the roof, so a very, very top-down view of what I want the store to look like. I need to fix some of this mapping, but I will do that next time I'm in the hunt to find a job. Working on your portfolio is freaking exhausting. So when the user first walks into the store, I thought it'd be cool and pretty inexpensive to have some vinyl graphics on the ground or some spray painted graphics. That way you know, like, oh, you see a bunch of bags in the store, but what really is this pop-up? When you look at the ground, it's Baboon to the Moon. So a very open floor plan. We want people to walk and shop. I added two spaces of seating. Everything they have in their aesthetic is very mix match, like the colors, the textures. So I think an eclectic way to design and decorate the store really worked. I made sure to have a lot of space for back of house, and essentially there's two-part programming to this. It is a shopping experience with a lot of funky decor for people to take photos, as well as a photo display carousel where people can try the bags that they want to shop and see. If not, then they have social engagement from the photo op. So this kind of 360 camera view where you can test them in different backgrounds of how the bags will look in different colorways and based on your aesthetic. So I thought that was a really cool plus. So here's what the store looks like a little more. I made one floor plan and 4 renders. So this is the checkout area I mentioned with the tattoo artist's work in the back. I created this little call on my own. New York City's viral travel bag is calling you. I have one pegboard kind of open for the public to see. And something that I thought was really cool that I noticed on their TikToks, they make a lot of content behind these pegboards. So there's a lot of visual cues that someone from the internet is like, oh wait, this looks familiar. I swear I've seen this on a TikTok. And then maybe one of the people that assist with their social media can also take street interviews on the side, and it'll literally look like their TikToks. Over here, you can see a little inside of the photo booth. Yeah, this one was rough. I left this guy blank because I was like, girl, I got no more bags to put anywhere. Like a rudimentary photo booth, you can see people like posing and taking photos, and I kind of curated different colors based on their latest campaigns. And in these renders, you can see the baffles that I have, kind of a gradient from least to most saturated. I just thought something on the ceiling would really tie it together. People can put their drinks on this little plastic shelf I made, or sunglasses. Maybe there could be other merch. I just love how this color story turned out. It turned out so nicely, and I'm so excited. And I added their little lost arrow on the side. Another ode I had was to have lights on interiors of the wall, so it could be a bright and photo boothy space. Yeah, so that's one of my projects on my Ready Mag, and so stinking happy with myself. You'll see a Reels version of this on my Instagram, so feel free to hype it up and be like, y'all, Karen has this cool like YouTube video of this whole thing on her actual channel. Take a look. Take a look. And also let me know if you find this video helpful. I feel like I have a lot of like little nuggets that I'm collecting from being an art vendor in Chicago, as well as like a freelancer and potentially an assistant art director in the future. So I don't know. I love helping people help people. So yeah, we'll see where this goes. My day in the life vlogs are also coming back. I have just been, I don't know, I haven't been picking up my camera as much recently. So I might have to combine March and April, but I will still keep at it. It's still my favorite thing, just to record life. But yeah, that's coming to you soon. I just thought I would come out with a couple more videos like this and talk about my lived experiences as a designer. Thank you so much for coming and sticking around. Please help me hit 500 by the end of the year, and I will keep on trucking. I will see y'all later. Bye. Ciao.